Hello, I'm here at the heart of the US Congress just after Donald Trump's State of the Union speech. Here are 5 takeaways from that moment. The White House was really pushing one big message coming into this speech, that Donald Trump would reach across the aisle and ask for Democrat support to pass an immigration bill. He did that. The thing is, he pretty much got the cold shoulder from them. From the word go when he entered the room, dozens of Democrats refused to rise and applaud him. That carried on throughout the speech. Republicans cheering, hollering, Democrats sitting on their hands and looking stony-faced. All of that doesn't bode particularly well for his attempts to stitch together a bipartisan immigration bill in the coming weeks. In Britain, we're so used to seeing Donald Trump on the campaign trail, going on these rhetorical flights of fancy, or sparring with the press, calling them fake news. This was a very different president, even-toned, sticking to the script and on message. All of that undermines this perception of Donald Trump, the emotional speaker who can't really control what he says or does. This was a president who was in control and delivering the message he really wanted to. Donald Trump dedicated a large proportion of the opening part of this speech to the growing economy and his big tax cut. 2.4 million jobs created, $2,000 in the pockets of the average family. He clearly thinks that the growing economy and tax are areas where he can pick up votes at the midterms in November. Now that is interesting because polls suggest voters are lukewarm on tax cuts. A lot of them think it's a bung to the rich, frankly. But Donald Trump is a seller, and he believes that by putting tax cuts so centrally he can convince the voters. We've heard a lot about the Democrat opposition to Donald Trump's immigration measures, but there was a curious moment in the speech when actually we saw Republican concern. It's when he announced that 1.8 million dreamer children who came here illegally will be given a path to citizenship. Now suddenly the Republican applause began to die down, and there was a bit of an uneasy moment. What that suggests is that Donald Trump has set himself on a clash course with those hardline Republicans in the House of Representatives who need re-election in November. There is a black cloud hanging over the Donald Trump presidency, and it is the Russia investigation by Robert Mueller, the special counsel. Now you wouldn't know any of that was going on if you heard the State of the Union address. Trump made only one mention of Russia alongside China as part of the great power rivalry that is re-emerging on the world stage. However, in fact, it's one of the things that Washington is constantly talking about. Trump himself is expected to be interviewed by Mueller in a couple of weeks, so it may be one that in the coming days and weeks the president won't be able to run away from, and we will finally get to the bottom of what went on.